Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. My today's editorial will attract a lot of trolls. But then one is used to saying what one feels is the truth, and we will continue to do it. Okay, let's go further. So my today's topic is Rahul Gandhi, Member of Parliament, conducted a video conferencing, a press conference through video conferencing yesterday. There were some 200 questions fired at him and he answered 20 of those 200 questions. I thought he answered them sensibly. But that's not my topic. My topic is, why doesn't India listen to Rahul Gandhi? Let's get into the show. So like I said, Rahul Gandhi made a lot of sensible remarks yesterday, sensible suggestions yesterday. What was more important in his entire press conference was he didn't sound criticizing the government. Rather, most of his criticism were positive. It was constructive criticism. This is what the first reaction I got when I saw the press conference. Out of all that he said, I will cull out 7 points and talk to you about those 7 points which I thought was very sensible. And then we will get into the topic as to why people do not listen to him. So let's get into the topics. Let's get into the points that he said first. The first point that he said, and I think was very intelligent, was that the Prime Minister of India should empower the states and take the state into confidence. You see, what he said is, you can't just one fine day decide that all the PPEs, personal protective kits, the central government will acquire and then give state governments. There are bound to be lacunae. There are bound to be problems. There are bound to be delays. You see, what he meant to say is a person like Uddhav Thackeray, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, should not learn and understand what is going to happen from tomorrow onwards in his state and the rest of the country through television like common man. He should be told first. He should be taken into confidence first. Maybe a lot of things that are happening in the country could have been avoided had Arvind Kejriwal, Uddhav Thackeray knew what was in the Prime Minister's mind. This is what he said. Made sense. The second point that I think made sense was he said the financial package that was announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was inadequate. Inadequate because, in fact, Dr. Jayati Ghosh, the renowned economist and head of the Department of JNU, she also, speaking to my colleague, said that the total relief package is 0.5% of the GDP. The relief packet of 1,70,000 crores which was announced was, first of all, 50,000 of those 1,70,000 crores, it was already budgeted. So it was already committed. So 1,20,000 crores is 0.5% of the GDP. And what, according to her, she said it should be at least 7 to 11% of the GDP. That should have been the relief that has been announced, which was not. And Rahul Gandhi said the same. So that was the point number 2 he raised. Now let's come to point number 3. He said the biggest problem that India is facing today is for food. And that has to be taken care of regardless whether you have a ration card or you don't have a ration card. What he also said is this 5 kg business, first of all, it has not reached people, which even we have come to know about it. But this 5 kg business should be increased to 10 kgs wheat, 10 kgs rice, 1 kg dal, 1 kg sugar every week. Now, I don't know whether every week is completely correct, but this one-time offer is not correct either. So he said food should be provided regardless whether you have a ration card, you don't have a ration card, whatever. They are human beings and that need should be met. This was the point number 3 he spoke about. Now let's get to point number 4. Point number 4 is what we have been saying, and I think the rest of the country has also been saying, that it is not the COVID that is scary, it is what is going to happen after the COVID that is more scary. There is going to be a huge backlash after the lockdown is lifted. And that backlash we need to be ready for. It should not be like the migrant issue that happened when we went in all hurry-burry, we went and locked the entire country down, and then we realized that there is a huge migrant issue which we couldn't contain. Surat had a problem, Mumbai had a problem, Delhi had a problem, Uttar Pradesh had a problem. What he said is, beware, have a foresight to handle the backlash of the lockdown. I think what he said was absolutely correct. The fifth point he made was about micro and small and medium sized enterprises. He said these MSMEs are going to be the biggest sufferer, and one has to stimulate the economy. One has to create comprehensive packages to ensure that the MSMEs are sustained. Because no MSMEs, no jobs. No MSMEs, the economy will take a direct hit. So that was the fifth point he said. He made a very bold statement. Very bold statement. He said, we need to make sure that in protecting lives, we don't destroy our economy completely. Mind you, this was directly reverse to Mr. Narendra Modi's speech, where he said, Jaan hai to jahan hai. Now, these are two views kept by two different party leaders, Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress. So that's what I wanted to take you through. That's point number 5. Point number 6, he said that India should increase the testing numbers. We do 199 tests per million Indians. We should increase this, because if you don't test the people, we will not know the quantum of the disease that is spreading. The last point that I wanted to take you through, he said much more than this, but I am just taking you through 7 points. The last point that he said, and I think I completely agree to this point. He said that if the country is divided, there is no way we can fight corona. In fact, I will read out his own words. He said, the virus will win if we are divided. We will win if we are united. Absolutely. I think he was talking about Tablighi Jamaat, and the way currently a lot of blame is put on Muslims, and that's what he was talking about. I completely agree to this point. If we're not united, we will not get out of this. We will not come out of this. End of the day, we are one. We are one community. That's exactly what he said. So these are the 7 points that Rahul Gandhi made, which I thought made a lot of sense. Now, just for academic sake, before I end this segment, can we compare what our good Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi said and the Member of Parliament Wayanad, Rahul Gandhi, said? Now, obviously, can't compare a Prime Minister's speech to an MP speech, but all the same, just like I said, for academic reasons. So let's start. The first thing that Shri Narendra Modi spoke about is to take care of our elders. Rahul Gandhi spoke about empowerment of state and taking state into confidence. The second point that Mr. Modi spoke about is to not get out of the house, maintain the lockdown. Rahul Gandhi spoke about lockdown just being a pause button and not a final tool to fight coronavirus. He said you can only fight coronavirus through more tests. The third point that Shri Modi said was to follow instructions of Ayush. Rahul Gandhi spoke about massive financial backlash. Mr. Narendra Modi asked people to take care of poor families. Rahul Gandhi said that with or without ration card, families should be given food. Rahul Gandhi said each of these people should be given at least 10 kgs of wheat, 10 kgs of rice, 1 kg of sugar, 1 kg of dal. He said that there is enough food surplus that is already there with India, so this may not be a big problem. This is what Rahul Gandhi said. Narendra Modi spoke about not sacking people during the time of lockdown. Rahul Gandhi spoke about a comprehensive package helping the micro and the medium and small enterprises. Lastly, Narendra Modi spoke about paying utmost respect to the corona warriors, that is the medical staff and the police. And Rahul Gandhi spoke about united we stand. He said the only way you can fight coronavirus is by standing together. So this is broadly the Narendra Modi version and the Rahul Gandhi version. What you see here is most of the things that our good Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi said was asking of us, and on the other hand, most of the things that Rahul Gandhi said was a suggestion as to how things can be improved. Now, one doesn't know let us also have a rider here. One doesn't know if Rahul Gandhi was or his government was heading, would he implement all these suggestions? One doesn't know. So let's leave it at that. But the fact remains that these were the two versions given by two leaders in India. Now, to answer the million-dollar question, why doesn't India take Rahul Gandhi seriously? Or why doesn't India listen to Rahul Gandhi? You see, forget the fact that media has created certain perception. Media is a victim of their own perception that they have created of Rahul Gandhi. No media wants to talk good about him. Forget all that. Forget the fact that even Rahul Gandhi initially was not very serious about his job. That too. The core reason why a Rahul Gandhi speech does not get the same reciprocation as the Narendra Modi speech is again going back to what I told you a few days back. Now, if you ask a communication professional, he would say, before you communicate to your mass audience, you need to bifurcate your mass audience into three categories. Category number one is the core audience, what you see in the center of your screen. The category number two is your centric stroke periphery audience. And category number three, the outer ring, is the area of indifference. So you have three audiences that you communicate to. Normally, when you are asked to communicate, a professional will always communicate keeping the core audience in mind. There is nothing called as Janta communication. A professional will always communicate to the core audience. And the core audience will be the first to receive your communication and to accept your communication verbatim. Because they are already with you. They want to listen to you. They support you. So the core audience will accept and receive your communication perfectly well. This core audience will influence the centric stroke the periphery audience and ensure that your communication is spread. And if you are lucky, it will go even to the area of indifference. Now, when it comes to Narendra Damodar Das Modi, his core audience are the middle class Hindus of this country. Middle class Hindus are more receptive to whatever he says. The middle class Hindus ensures that it is spread to the centrics or periphery audience, which is your poor Hindus, your lower middle class Hindus, etc. And as far as the area of indifference is concerned, the area of indifference includes minorities, intelligentsias, leftists, liberals, so on and so forth. Now, here I spoke about a core audience, about a centrics audience, and about a audience in the indifferent curve. Now, the basic problem that Rahul has is Rahul does not have core audience. Core audience is missing. Who is the core audience of Rahul? We defined Mr. Narendra Modi's core audience as middle class Hindus, who are the core audience that follows Rahul. It is not the entire minority. Minority doesn't follow Rahul. They've got MIM, they've got other parties that they follow. People who do not vote for BJP do not necessarily follow Congress because they've got Samajwadi Party, they've got RJD, they've got Bahujan Samaj Party, lots of other parties that they follow. So finally, who is that consolidated core audience that Rahul Gandhi has? That is the problem why Rahul Gandhi's speeches, Rahul Gandhi's communications are not manifested. That is why when Rahul Gandhi even speaks sense, like he spoke on the 12th of February, when he told this country, beware, you may have another tsunami coming, take care of Indians and take care of our economy. Nobody took him seriously. And the one thing that Rahul Gandhi has to create is that core audience. He has to mark a niche, call out a niche for himself, the people who would listen to him and the people who will carry his message to the rest of the country. That, I think, is the core reason why Rahul Gandhi is, though at times he makes a lot of sense, what he says doesn't go to the people. But currently, during COVID, I think we should unite as a country. We should unite as even politicians should unite, and more importantly, hear people who speak sense. And this time, Rahul spoke sense. Till we meet next time, Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.